Across the globe, people of all ages and backgrounds are interested in and excited for the FIFA World Cup. Qatar is being criticised for everything from poor planning and bribery to human rights abuses 9 years before the 2022 World Cup was scheduled to take place there. However, there were always questions about fairness and integrity at the competition. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar has been the most controversial of all the tournaments to be held there. Hello and welcome to Goalside. In today's video, we're going to discuss the top 10 reasons this World Cup in Qatar may be among the worst. Make sure to stick around till the end of this video. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. So without wasting any time, let's dive right into the video. Number 10. Russia and Israel. Qatar's relationship with Israel is so fraught that the country refuses to recognize the Jewish state. There have been individual Israeli competitors in Qatar, but no Israeli national teams have ever traveled there. Because of this, it could have turned into a nightmare if Israel had made it to the World Cup. Although Qatar has publicly welcomed Israeli athletes, they would have been at a disadvantage compared to their international counterparts, although the Blues and Whites finished dead last in their group and missed the playoffs. The other country experiencing difficulties was Russia, but this had nothing to do with Qatar. Russia has been banned from all major competitions in 2019, though they can still compete in qualifying rounds. They did qualify, but they were banned by FIFA. Other options included Russia's involvement under a different name without a flag or national anthem. After December 16, 2022, this ban will be lifted just 2 days before the 2022 FIFA World Cup final. They were banned as a result of Russia's attack on Ukraine. Number 9. Qatar is too tiny to host the FIFA World Cup. Switzerland, the world's second smallest country at the time, hosted the FIFA World Cup in 1954. However, Qatar beats out Hawaii and Utah as the least populous large country in the world. Theoretically, this has benefits because all the locations are conveniently close together. Therefore, there won't be much time spent traveling for teams or fans, and everyone will be in the same boat. However, FIFA itself has acknowledged that Qatar might be too small to host such a massive event. Qatar must take care of 32 teams in 64 matches, while Switzerland only had to host 16 teams in 26 games. This is just the beginning of the preparations that will be required to host the nearly 100,000 accredited guests and the countless more who will be attending simply to watch the football. Number 8. Qatar doesn't deserve to play. Italy hosted the FIFA World Cup in 1934. They'd never been a participant before that, but this was only the second World Cup, and Italy proved they belonged to the elite by taking home the trophy. Despite coming so close on multiple occasions, Qatar was never able to make it into the tournament. They have had recent success on a regional level, but they still aren't up there with the best teams in Asia. Look no further than their performance in qualifying for the 2022 FIFA World Cup to see this in action. Qatar has played warm-up games against every team in UEFA Group A to help get it ready for the tournament. Number 7. Only 8 stadiums. Qatar initially stated it would construct 12 World Cup stadiums, but in 2013 the country asked to have that number reduced to 8 or 9. Embarrassingly, FIFA considered having neighbouring countries share hosting duties. The price tag for so many stadiums proved to be too high, especially when compared to the funds allocated for infrastructure like roads and even a brand new city. Doha, Qatar, will spend over $200 billion on the World Cup. The final decision by FIFA was to hold the tournament in only 8 venues, due to their proximity to one another. This will cause even more infrastructure problems, which could make the whole thing unbearable. There won't be much fans can do besides being patient and showing up to the games hours ahead of schedule. Even though the FIFA World Cup is the largest event on the planet, it might seem modest in Qatar. Number 6. Sponsoring terrorism allegations. Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Egypt all made accusations of state-supported terrorism against Qatar in 2017. Countries in Asia and Africa soon joined in with sanctions against Qatar after the initial group. In fact, Yemen, the United Arab Emirates, Mauritania, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, and Egypt have all asked FIFA to be removed as potential hosts for the 2022 World Cup. Along with the other teams considering a withdrawal, Germany was one of them. Meanwhile, Qatar has strongly supported the war on terror and has denied these allegations. The dispute was settled in 2021 and trade between the two countries resumed. Qatar's reputation will only improve with significant investment of time and resources. This may be another factor that prevents soccer fans from travelling to the country for the World Cup. We anticipate the agreement will continue to be in effect long after the competition has ended. Number 5. The shortest World Cup of the Millennium. Because it only happens every 4 years, everyone wants the FIFA World Cup to go on as long as possible. Yet, Qatar's 2022 FIFA World Cup will be the shortest in a century. In addition, with only 24 teams, this tournament will be the shortest since 1982. There will be less time for rest because a total of 64 games will be played in just 28 days. Many of the players will be worn down or hurt by the time the semi-finals roll around. Additionally, there will be 4 games per day during the group stage, so very few people will devote 12 hours to watching them all. The irony here is that it will probably hurt Qatar, as spectators will stop showing up to their games. They're the weakest team in the tournament, as we've already determined, so no one will be tuning in unless their favourite team is playing. In case you're wondering what's going on, reason number 4 on our list will explain everything. Number 4. The first winter FIFA World Cup. In the Northern Hemisphere, the 2022 FIFA World Cup will begin in late autumn and end just before winter. Those who support this decision point out that average summertime temperatures in Qatar can reach 50 degrees. The hosts initially claimed that they would fix the issue by turning on the air conditioning, but later admitted they were unable to. They basically blackmailed FIFA into agreeing to hold the tournament at the end of 2022, which is well after the deadline they had originally set. However, there will be many negative repercussions as a result of this. Number 3. Boycott calls. It's not surprising that calls to boycott are being made from all corners of the globe, given that many FIFA officials view this World Cup as a mistake. Although Qatar should benefit from the competition, the last decade has brought nothing but trouble. Large human rights organizations will continue their protests and boycott calls even during the World Cup. Even though FIFA and the hosts will probably ignore it, it will have a financial impact on them. Number 2. Modern slavery and LGBT rights. For the World Cup's infrastructure, Qatar had to bring in a large number of foreign workers. They are paid very little and are confined to labor camps. As an added insult, they've lost many of the most basic rights associated with being a human being, including the freedom to leave their jobs or the country. As a result of this, and the terrible conditions in which construction workers were forced to endure, over 6,500 people lost their lives. 2 construction workers per day lose their lives on the job due to heat exhaustion and other environmental hazards. The government of Qatar is making only minimal efforts to alter the situation because it is preoccupied with preventing public outcry over the number of deaths. Furthermore, extreme hostility toward the LGBT community persists in Qatar, where homosexuality is a crime punishable by years in prison. Number 1. Qatar may have bought the rights to host the World Cup. There were many obvious reasons to vote no on holding the World Cup in this location. Furthermore, FIFA knows it far better than any of us do due to their stringent inspections of every candidate country. This raises the obvious follow-up question: why was Qatar chosen? Certainly, there are allegations that corruption and bribery played a role in getting the votes Qatar needed. Former UEFA president Michel Platini was arrested for alleged corruption in 2019. However, there is still a lot that we don't understand. It appears that the World Cup will go forward as planned, and if we learn the truth, it will be many years later. However, nobody thinks Qatar is a deserving host for the World Cup. There is a significant possibility that awarding the World Cup to Qatar was one of the worst decisions ever made in the history of football. Tell us in the comments what you think. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.